During the 10 minutes you watch this video, more than 60 children around the world will die of hunger. This is not a tragedy of nature. It is a calculated crime of humanity. While you listen to these words, the clock of death never stops ticking. The silence of the universe is broken only by the screams of the innocent. We have spent millennia looking for the personification of evil in ancient scriptures, in myths, and in the fiery pits of an imaginary hell. We depicted the devil as a horned monster, a fallen angel lurking in the shadows of our nightmares, waiting to snatch our souls. But we were blind. We were looking everywhere except at our own reflection. Man has committed atrocities against one another that would make the devil himself tremble in fear. The devil is now retired. He is an unemployed observer because humanity has long since surpassed his wildest imaginations. The greatest devil is not a myth. It is the creature staring back at you in the mirror. Human history is not, as our textbooks claim, a story of glorious progress or the triumph of the spirit. It is a chronicle of refined cruelty, a timeline of how we learned to kill more efficiently and with less remorse. In the Stone Age, we crushed each other's skulls with rocks in a primal struggle for survival. Today, we incinerate entire cities, vaporizing hundreds of thousands of lives with the push of a button from a sterile room thousands of miles away. We call this civilization. We call it defense. But the primal darkness in our souls has never evolved. It has only become more organized, more bureaucratic, and more lethal. Even the devil is said to have pride, but man has no limits when it comes to greed and cold-blooded indifference. History is written in blood, and the ink never dries. We preach about peace in air-conditioned halls, signing treaties with pens made of gold, while our factories never stop churning out the instruments of death. Statistics suggest that in the last 3,400 years, humanity has been entirely at peace for only 268 of them. We have spent nearly 92% of our recorded existence trying to find ways to wipe each other off the map. In the last 100 years alone, the death toll from war exceeds 250 million people. Think about that number. That is not just a statistic. It is 250 million dreams, 250 million families, and 250 million futures discarded like trash for the sake of borders, ideologies, and the ego of old men who will never step foot on a battlefield. During World War II, we reached the industrialization of death. We built camps not for living, but for the systematic, mechanical erasure of human beings. The Holocaust remains a scar that will never heal, a testament to how civilized people can turn murder into a routine bureaucratic process, selecting who lives and who dies based on twisted pseudoscience. And then, we split the atom. We unlocked the very power of the sun, the source of all life, not to provide infinite energy to the cold and hungry, but to evaporate hundreds of thousands of souls in Hiroshima and Nagasaki in the blink of an eye. The shadows of those vaporized children are still etched into the stone of those cities, a permanent silhouette of our ultimate shame, a reminder that we possess the power of gods, but the wisdom of insects. Today, the world spends over $2.2 trillion on military budgets annually. If we diverted just 1% of that blood money, we could end global hunger tomorrow. But we won't, because there's no profit in a full stomach, only in a pile of empty casings and the reconstruction of ruins we created. Now, let us turn to the silent genocide of hunger the quietest and most agonizing way to die. Every year, 850 million people go to bed with stomachs so empty they ache, a physical pain that never subsides. Every year, more than 3 million children die directly from malnutrition. This is a man-made famine that never ends. We produce enough food to feed 10 billion people, yet we live in a world where children in Yemen, Sudan, and Somalia are so skeletal that they lack the strength to even brush the flies away from their dying eyes. In developed nations, we throw away 1.3 billion tons of food every year. We discard enough calories to feed every starving person on Earth 3 times over. While you browse your phone and decide which meal you find unappealing, a child in a mud hut is eating cookies made of actual dirt, salt, and vegetable shortening just to stop the acid in their stomach from eating them from the inside out. We are the only creatures who will watch our neighbors starve while we build a taller fence to hide our surplus. We have turned bread into a weapon of war and water into a luxury for the elite. And what of the children? They are the ultimate collateral damage of our existence. There are 160 million children currently trapped in child labor, stolen childhoods that will never be returned. They do not have schools. They do not have toys. They do not have laughter. They have picks and shovels. They spend their childhoods in the lightless, collapsing mines of Africa, their small fingers bleeding as they extract cobalt and coltan so that we can have the latest smartphones, the fastest laptops, and the trendiest electric cars. Our green revolution and our digital age are lubricated by the sweat and blood of children who will never see a classroom or know the comfort of a bed. In war zones, thousands of children are not just killed, they are recruited. We put assault rifles in the hands of 10-year-olds and tell them to kill their neighbors for a cause they cannot understand. We kidnap them for the organ mafia. We sell them into modern slavery, and we treat them as disposable assets. A world that does not protect its children has no right to exist. Yet we continue to celebrate our achievements while walking over the bodies of the youth. Our cruelty extends beyond our own kind to the very planet that keeps us alive, the only home we have in the vast, cold emptiness of space. Man is not the steward of the Earth. He is its terminal cancer. In the last 50 years, we have wiped out 70% of the world's wildlife. We have choked the oceans with plastic, poisoned the air with carbon, and scarred the land with toxins that will last for millennia. Every minute, we destroy the equivalent of 27 football fields of forest, the lungs of our world, cut down for palm oil and cattle grazing. We hunt magnificent creatures to extinction for the sake of traditional medicine or trophy hunting. We kill elephants for their teeth and rhinos for their horns, leaving their rotting carcasses behind as a monument to our vanity. Nature is screaming at us through floods, fires, and droughts, pleading with us to stop. But we are deaf, blinded by the glitter of gold and the promise of endless growth on a finite planet. We are burning our own house down to keep ourselves warm for one more night. Modern slavery is not a relic of the past. It is a booming, multi-billion-dollar industry. 50 million people are enslaved today, more than at any point in the history of the transatlantic slave trade. They are hidden in plain sight, working in the kitchens of our restaurants, the fields of our farms, the construction sites of our skyscrapers, and the dark corners of our cities. We have built a global economy on the backs of the invisible and the exploited. We plan to build cities on Mars, dreaming of escaping our ruined world, while we cannot even provide clean drinking water to a village in the Congo. Why? Because Mars is a project of vanity, a new frontier for the rich, and saving a village is a bad investment with no return. 800,000 people die every year from waterborne diseases. They die from thirst in a world covered in water. We have privatized the very essence of life for profit. We've become a society of spectators, a world of voyeurs who consume tragedy for entertainment. We watch the most horrific tragedies on our high-definition screens, as if they were fiction, detached from the reality of the suffering. We scroll past a photo of a drowned child on a beach with the same indifference we use for a celebrity scandal or a cat video. We have commodified suffering. We have become robotic, calculating, and cold. We have lost the ability to feel the pain of others because we are too consumed by our own comfort, our own likes, and our own trivial problems. Evil thrives not just in the hearts of those who pull the trigger, but in the silence of those who watch and do nothing. Our indifference is the oxygen that keeps the fires of hell burning. We are a generation of ghosts, haunting a world we no longer care to save. Look at how we treat the innocent animals in our industrial systems. Billions of sentient beings are kept in horrific conditions, never seeing the sun, never feeling the grass, only to be slaughtered for our convenience. We test cosmetics by dripping acid into the eyes of rabbits. We experiment on primates, ignoring their screams because they are just animals. If a being is capable of suffering, how can we justify inflicting it? Man's dominance is not a mandate for tyranny, yet that is exactly how we have used it. We have turned the Garden of Eden into a global slaughterhouse, and we call the resulting bloodbath the circle of life. It is not a circle, it is a straight line to extinction. Humanity is dead. Its funeral is held in the silence of our conscience, and we are the ones who buried it under a mountain of gold and a sea of blood. There is no one left to save us, for we are the ones we needed saving from.